And this is why I like running. It's because all this shit that I learned is so applicable to life. Like a marathon, just the distance of a marathon, the ups and downs that you go through in just one race is just fucking insane. And it's just like how life is. Like, and you learn how to deal with your fucking emotions, put away all doubt, deal with those issues, crush them, keep moving forward. Like, you don't have a choice when pain comes, when adversity comes. You don't have a choice. You have to keep moving forward. You can't stop in place. Like, that's not how it's gonna work.
It's time we unite, yeah. Put our differences aside, yeah. And fight for our lives, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said the haters in the mall where before let's
Welcome back. Welcome back. Another episode with the Baldy Boys. Here to tell some stories. And basically about just the past couple, really we could say the months, like past couple months.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where we tell our stories, our lessons of our journey to help you on yours. And this is really going to be that, because this pod is really about a whole year, probably a little more of a process. Yeah. What?
I said it wrong.
What'd you say?
I was trying to say preparation. I
Oh.
think I said preparation.
Yeah. I mean, there's failures, pain, lessons learned, and making adjustments, moving on, and making it work. And that's kind of what we just it's accomplished this past weekend. So I want to kind of set the stage here first, so we remember like what went down last year, right?
I think I had some questions for you too in here. Let me pull this up so I don't forget.
Okay. So, last year I ran the Tacoma Marathon, and I prepped in the best way that I thought was would work for me, right?
Yeah.
And,
Coming off of your first marathon before that.
yeah, which was
Seattle.
and the first one was just get it done, just
Finishing.
Yeah, and then the next one was I wanted to run
PR.
I wanted a PR, run a sub 4 marathon, which is 26.2 miles under 4 hours, and went out and prepared for it, felt great, right, and everything. I felt like everything was going well, and then got hurt. That helped me out for a couple weeks, so I missed a bunch of weeks, a bunch of miles of running, and didn't get to be able to run until like the last week before the marathon started. So showed up to the marathon feeling good and everything, right, go through our stuff, and the body said no. And I didn't. There's things that I did this time that I wish I would have done last time during the marathon, and which would have helped me out.
Yeah.
And body came crashing down on me. I think mile 16 started feeling it last year, and then mile 23 had a cramp, and then I made a huge mistake that basically really killed it. And then I finished the marathon at a 4:07. So we're 4 hours and 7 minutes. So we're 7 minutes off the goal. This year, the whole preparation was very different than what I did last time. I did it a lot differently, and I let go of a lot. I made a lot of adjustments to make sure that I could show up. And my main concern was just not being injured. Like, that was my biggest goal, was making sure that I wasn't injured, and I wanted to make it to every run and do every run. Yeah. Get all the miles in plus more, so that I could just show up to the start line and see what that would be like, instead of missing 4 to 5 weeks of running, right?
Yeah.
So did that. And the thing that I kept thinking about, right, because last year haunted me. It fucking haunted me, like going through this whole process, like just thinking like, what if I failed again, Yeah. And it's like the thing about it was up to the point where we started running, like this was like running through my head, and thinking about I'm going like 4 months of training and all that, and then up to the start line. Yeah. And in my head I'm still thinking like, because you don't know, that's the thing about like running these races, and it's a lot of things in life, like you can do all that work, but I was still uncertain if I could still accomplish that goal. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to go run, I can go out and run, but I still don't know. Like, you never know what could happen. Anything can happen in any of those miles, and you could fucking blow up, like, and you don't know what's going to go down, and it'll hold you back. I mean, you just don't know what can happen during that race that can pull you from making that goal. So it's like crazy to think you go 4 months of training, all these runs, don't miss any of the work, right? You get all these miles in, but you still don't know if it's gonna happen the way you want. And that was kind of crazy to me, because none of my runs like during training did I run at marathon pace like that for a long time.
Yeah.
So
you felt like that in the beginning of the race, this race.
What do you mean? Like when we started?
Yeah.
No, I mean, once we started going, I didn't feel crazy like that. But I'm just saying, like, to go that long, like just during training and everything, and none of my runs are like I'm going to go for a 10-mile run at marathon pace or anything like that. Like, none of it was like that.
Got it. Okay.
You know how I changed my training to not try and be race pace anything really. Yeah. You know, other than like a run or two a week. So just not knowing if I can hold a certain pace for that long, that's where, you get kind of worried. But imagine, just putting in the work and just being like really just not knowing if it's going to happen or not still. But that's the whole point of doing the hard stuff, man. Like, you just don't know. And that's the uncertainty, and then just believing in yourself and trusting that, the work will pay off. The work will come through and show itself through whatever event, activity, or whatever you're doing, whatever endeavor you fucking decide to go on. The work that you put in is going to come through, and it's going to show in those times and in those moments where you need it. Because that's what your body and your mind and everything's going to fall back on. But a lot of shit happened during this race, and it was fucking cool race. And, it was just all three marathons that I've ran have been different races. They've all felt very fucking different. This one definitely felt different. This one was my best. Like, I can say that I felt my best out of all three of them. And that's still saying, went into it not knowing, but I just had a shitload of miles on my legs, and I think that's what helped me out. And there's a whole lot of things, and we'll talk about that stuff, but yeah, a whole lot of stuff happening. But
it's crazy, because I think what you just said was literally like the first 3 questions that I had for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Talk about the past race. Talk about how what you did to prepare for this new one, and then how you felt going into it.
So I mean, mentally, right? That was the thing. Like, I knew I put in all the miles, and that was the thing. Just get the miles on my legs and stuff like that, and then just making sure that I didn't get hurt, because that's what happened the first 2 times. I missed so many long runs. Like, think about it. The first marathon that we did, my longest run was 16 miles. So unknown territory, 10 more miles to go. Like, and I didn't know if we could do that. Right at that time, I didn't know if we could do that. And then go into this one, we missed another 4 to 5 weeks. So, like, mentally, I mean, not this one, but the second one, 4 to 5 weeks, and then this one, we went through all the miles. So I just wanted to see what that would be like, right? So it's like, what if we did all the miles? What if we did all the work? We didn't miss any time, any weeks, any miles. Let's see how that would work out. We don't have to run everything hard, because that's really what got me fucking hurt last time, and I really stayed away from that. I mean, I'll remember, because I was always posting it, but I would post my runs, and I just remember, like, I'd go on, a 15-mile run, 18-mile run or something last year, and my pace was I think my 20-mile run last year was at 8:47 pace or something. It's ridiculous. Like, I shouldn't have been running. And then guess what happened? I got hurt afterwards, and I'm training. Those are the paces I should be holding for the marathon, not for, for a training run. So, especially like a long run. A long run, should be just an easy pace, everything. So, that was the idea. I just went into everything. This one, I swear to you, like, every long run, this was kind of the adjustment. Well, I'll talk about that later. But the big thing was just running slow. Like, I know it sounds crazy. We've talked about it before on the pod, and I know it sounds really crazy, but running slow really got me through the whole training process and the whole marathon. Like, my body just came into it, and came into all the training. Like, hit the taper, which is the last 3 weeks before the marathon. You just really cut down on miles and stuff like that. My body just kind of came into, you start feeling really different. It's crazy, because you're running a lot less miles, and your body just starts kind of adjusting, and just not running all those miles, and you're running less, like, days a week too. So
I feel like that would mess with you mentally.
It did for sure. It felt like
it's like you're not working. Yeah, you're not working enough. You're not doing enough.
Yeah, and that definitely kind of sucked, but it worked, and it's just but that was going into it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks again for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoyed the Nesian Build podcast and you want to help us spread the word, it'd help us out a lot if you leave us a review, a rating, a like, a subscribe, even a share on any platform that you're listening on. Again, we really appreciate your time. Let's get back to the episode.
Mentally, it was just that, like thinking, I just want to do all the work. I just want to do all the miles, see what happens, but then still going into the race, thinking, fuck, I don't know, but we're gonna rely on the work. Like that's the thing, right? Because you can say like, oh, I gotta have this, like I gotta have the 4 hour or sub 4 hour result, like I have to have it this time, or I can just fall back and say like, but I gotta think that I got better during this because I was smarter about the whole training program, and I put in way more miles than I ever have before for any other training prep. Yeah. So either way, whether I met that goal or not, the 4 hour goal, still like I got better. Like I got better at running, I got better at preparation, I got better at all that stuff, because anything could happen. Like we talked about during the race, those last 2 miles, all I was trying to do was not blow up because I knew I already had it. Like I already knew I was ahead of the pace. My legs were going crazy and my quads were just on fire. Yeah. The only thing I was trying to do was manage not blowing up and not getting my quads to fucking cramp up on me completely and just say we're done right here, mile 24 or something. So that was like the goal right there.
I definitely feel like you definitely look way stronger going in than you did last year. It was crazy to be with you too in that last section, and you're like, bro, this is where was it you started walking last time or something like that, or you really you stopped?
Yeah, because
that last little stretch there,
it's less than a quarter mile out or something at that point. And I mean, we've shared videos of it, and because we had drone footage from one of the guys, BJ, and literally, bro, Mark was right next to me on the bike, and I fucking told him, I was like, dude, when we were running through that area, I was like, this is where I stopped, and in my head, I think it was at that moment too. This is the craziest shit because at that moment, I told myself I'm never running a fucking marathon again. When I was going through that at that time, that's how bad that's how bad I was fucking in pain. And I was just like, bro, and it was like, I don't think it was just physical pain. I think it was also just like me just doubting myself so bad. It's like, I can't believe I came out here and I blew up like this. Like I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and I failed by so much, like 7 minutes or whatever. And that like bothered me a lot. So as soon as there was so many moments in that race where I'm just like running past areas where I remember just feeling like straight garbage, bro, like straight shit last year. And this time, that's why when I don't know if it's gonna be in there, but I fucking told you when I was running up some of those hills, I'm like, I'm eating this shit, bro.
It's gonna be in there
because I fucking felt it. Like I felt so damn good compared to what I felt last year, and at that time I just believed in it. But
I can definitely feel your energy right when you said that. I was like, oh shit, this guy's gonna go.
And I don't know, it just felt a lot different, felt a lot better. But yeah, at that spot, I was just really struggling. I wasn't even that far out. I just had to keep fucking going forward and finish. I wasn't that far from the finish line, but I just could not run anymore. Yeah. But it was crazy also because that same day there was a dude that was walking, he's struggling, and he just stopped right there at that same time, at that same spot, and he bent over and he was just like hands on his knees, just trying to breathe. And that's when I was coming back because I was on the bike, right? So after I finished the marathon, I went back to go check Powell, and on the way back to you guys, back to the finish line, that's when I saw him. Oh, okay. So he's on his knees and everything, and I stopped the bike and I was like, and I told him, I was like, brother, this is exactly where I blew up last year. Just keep moving forward. Get up, keep moving forward. Yeah. And immediately he just did, bro. He's like, thanks, bro.
Who was he?
I don't know. He was just a random dude.
Okay. So, black guy, what?
The white guy tatted up and everything. But yeah, and I was like, I just fucking... And people do this shit all the time. That's the craziest thing, right? That's what I love about the running community, because especially during races, you don't know none of these people, but they will cheer you on no matter what, And we heard it like throughout when he was rolling with me. But I had like in that same area, and I saw that dude do that. I just thought of myself, like where I was at last year when this happened to me, and then and people did that for me last year. Yeah. This time, no, it's me. I have to do that for him because. Without what those guys did for me too last year, I probably would have been bent over. I don't know, fucking crawl into the damn finish line because it was bad. But those people that just keep cheering you on while you're going on, they're in the race too. They're cheering you on while you go. Like that helps out a lot. Like, and immediately after I told him, it's like, hey, look, dude, like, this is where I blew up last year. You're almost there. Just get up and keep moving forward. Don't stop right here. Just keep moving forward. I know it hurts. Just keep going forward, bro. And then he just got up and he started walking forward. And then you see him coming to the end, and his son, he was trying to get his son to finish with him. And you know, that's the cool shit, bro. Like, that's the shit I really like. I love to see. It was really good.
Was his son running the race too?
No, his little son was at the finish line with his mom.
I saw a father and son cross the line.
No, it was he wasn't.
Yeah, okay.
He was his son was just off on the side with his mom, and they were waiting for him to finish, and he wanted to grab him, but his son didn't want to come to him anymore, so he just finished. But it was really cool to see. But I mean, it's crazy, bro. Like, just coming on the other side of it, just seeing how bad and painful it was last year, and how, you know, fucking basically like what 9 miles, 10 miles of just fucking shittiness, and you know, that last 10 miles just shittiness, and then just coming out this year and just feeling good, bro. Like, I was really happy about this one.
It was pretty dope.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope to see you smash that one.
I was, and then like, I mean, afterwards, you were talking about how you're like, yeah, I don't know if you guys are he's gonna push too damn hard too early, but
you?
Yeah,
yeah. I will say, when I saw you come up that hill talking about I'm eating these hills, I was like, damn, you know. But then you got further down. And then I'm like, dude, was there a couple more after that?
Yeah.
There's the bigger one where the cop sits at the
that one's the
intersection. I'm like, there's another one down there though, and then you got to hit those two and you come back. So I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
And also because you passed the pacer.
Yeah.
When you start out, you start out with the was it a 4 mile pacer, 4 minute 4 hour pacer?
I didn't even start with them. I don't know where the hell they were. Kind of behind. Probably right in front of the 4:15 or something like that when we started.
Oh, okay.
But
by the time I saw you guys, you were around them. So, and then when I saw you run past, when you started to leave that group forward ahead of them, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
you turned on the jets.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fucking elite runner or anything. First off, like, it's like the thing that this shit is so like relative, right? Like, for me, running a fucking sub-4 is hard. Like, some people, that ain't shit. Like, that's nothing. And this is why, like, but it's like what I like to try and get to is like, it's everybody has their journey, right? Their place to start. And where I started and where I'm at, obviously, like, I put in the time and the work and I got better. Like, and it doesn't matter where that starting point was, but I'm better than that where I was when I started, right? Yeah. Some people and some people, like, they can, you know, they can just kind of start doing something, be average at it, and then they can make really like big jumps forward and stuff, right? Yeah. And when it comes to running, like, the whole idea is just keep showing up and keep being consistent. You're going to get better. You're gonna have times where it feels like you're not, you know, it can feel like, damn, my paces aren't this, my paces aren't that, stuff like that. But it's all like understanding like how it's all gonna play out if you just keep showing up to keep doing the stuff, keep doing the work, because it, like, me like, even that's why, because I don't want to sound like I fucking know everything about running, or I'm like the best runner. I'm fucking, this was my goal for running. This was my goal, like 4 hours. I just want to run sub 4 hours, because sub 4 hours is like above average, you know, marathon running, I guess, right? And it's nothing crazy, and it's like it. I think to some people it might sound crazy. For me, it's hard. So like, that's my hard, you know. And for some people, like, they look at that and like that they're like, that's it. But that's cool. But this for me, this is what I needed to do. You know, this is my hard. Yeah. So your hard, or whatever your goal is, to 5 hours, 4:30, 6 hour marathon, like, fuck it, that's still hard. Like, if it's hard, it's hard. It doesn't matter, like, you know, to sit there and like judge people based off of, you know, what times they had, stuff like that. All we can do is like, you get, you know, those times and keep getting better from there. You might fucking have a shitty marathon one time, or a shitty day, a shitty race, a shitty event. It could be a bad day, you know, and you don't get the result you want, but guess what? You can still come back and move forward again, right? So
which is exactly what you did.
Yeah, and I tried to do, and then it worked out, right? Like I said, you show up and you don't know if what's gonna happen, but you still just show up. Yeah. And yeah, I just like I like that we're able to do all the work, like that was the most important thing to me, and it just showed. Yeah, it was good ass time. But yeah, I'm gonna something that like, there's a couple of things in here that I want to talk about, like how I hopefully that don't like.
What's that?
I don't know. I shouldn't catch it. Like the things that I kind of changed for this marathon that helped me get through. Do you have any more?
No, but I feel like you looked at my notes, bro.
What?
I think that's one of the questions I had.
Really? I didn't look at nothing. I just.
What did you do differently from last time? And you're just talking about what you changed. So it's like,
yeah.
I think we have the same kind of questions. We kind of maybe thought about the same things.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're good.
But yeah, this is so. I talk about the work and the progress for a reason, because like if I would have went out and not made adjustments and did the same training shit and training plan, I basically did the same training plan, but I did it in a different way, right? So a lot of these things that what I'm saying is you can't go out and expect to get better results if I did the same thing, right? And you guys fucking hear me say that. And if I went out and did the same training plan, I probably would have got hurt again, and I probably would have missed miles, missed time, and probably got the same fucking result that I got last time, right? So you have to adjust. You have to find ways to get better. You have to figure out what went wrong and how can we get better.
Because a training plan is, I don't know what you did, but not all training plans is tailored to you specifically, right?
No.
So you kind of use a general plan to get there.
That's what I do, yes.
And so now you're having to tweak that to be more specific to you.
Based off of experience, that, using that same plan.
Yeah.
Because, using that same plan, I used the same thing, but I did it differently. So I just did it the way I thought it was going to help.
Made it fit to you.
Yeah, help me best based off of what just happened to me last year, right? So number one thing that I didn't end up doing last year, right? And I said I wanted to be, or I wanted to reach, was my number one goal last year was to be 175 pounds for that race. I was not. Like, I didn't reach that goal. And obviously that was because I wasn't eating correctly, or I wasn't fueling correctly based off lifting and all that stuff and running and everything. And then that was also during a time where I was trying to cut all this weight, not eating as much, but it wasn't working with my body correctly, right? Wasn't eating as much because I wasn't running as much because I was injured. So I didn't hit I didn't get down to 175 still.
Yeah.
And I wasn't helping my body recover from that injury very well either. So that was a lesson learned. And this time I was able to show up. I was 175 the week before race day, and I was able to show up to the start line at 175. Goal number one for that race was met. That's stacking. That's stacking, putting the odds in my favor, right? Like, I know if I can get to this weight, it's going to help me out a lot. Moving my body for 26.2 miles. And then the biggest thing, I think the biggest thing that I changed was, and I just said it, was running slow. That's the biggest thing that I changed. I was even though I thought that I was running slow last time, like it felt easy. Like, you get into those grooves where easy in your head, it feels easy. Like you're just kind of pushing, you're kind of moving, and but your heart rate is not feeling like easy. Like your heart rate can be going a lot higher than you want it to actually be, right? But you don't really feel that. You don't even notice. And I learned that a lot on this last training prep that we did, because this time around I got a heart rate monitor. Like, I ran with a heart rate monitor this time. Last time I just went off of feel, and I went off of paces, and that didn't help me out very much. This time I went strictly, and I stayed on heart rate. And I'm telling you, even on all my runs, on all my long runs especially, I didn't even look at my paces. Like, the only time I saw my pace was when I was...
You check your heart rate?
Like, yeah. No, not even that. Like, the only time I checked my pace was when it beeped, when my watch beeped and told me my mile pace. That's the only time. Yeah. But any other time, my watch was on heart rate. So I'm looking down at it constantly to make sure that my heart rate is where it's supposed to be at. So, like, generally for me, I'm 35 years old. So we use the math method, right? So I could take 180, and this is what I think a lot of people should do, because this is just what I think, because it helped me. But yeah, I think it would really help out a lot of people when it comes to running, because even I'm seeing a lot of people like post their runs and stuff. Heart rates are high as fuck, like crazy high, and
that's one thing as a new person coming into running who's never done before. They don't know that.
Yeah.
I never knew that, you know?
Yeah, neither one of us knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So watching, what's his name? Nick Barrett, using that method. So
yeah. So yeah, using that, use the math on. So take 180. That's like
minus,
yeah. And so
that's
180
max heart rate.
It's like a general term, general, right? So 180 minus your age. So 180 minus my age, 35. I usually try to sit at 145 or less for my heart rate while I'm running. So I kept it generally. I would stay around 140 to 150. Like in that zone is where it's perfect for my long runs, right? So that helps with a bunch of things. That helps with recovery afterwards. Like I didn't finish my run sore. I didn't show up the next day. I wasn't sore, but last year that's what was going on. Like
how hard did you? How did you feel trying to stay in that window on a run? That felt really good, or
yeah. So sometimes it would feel real good, right? And then you just kind of it's just easy.
Yeah.
And
but
then,
were there any times that you felt like I could give more?
Yeah, for sure.
But I have to stay in this range.
Have to
you know
hold
what
back.
I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like you're having to rein it in. Like, okay, yeah, I can push harder, but my heart rate needs to stay right here.
Yeah. Then that happens on those long runs. That is the thing that that's giving up your ego. Yeah, that's dropping the ego right there. It is easy. Good. It feels good. It feels easy, but it doesn't fucking matter. Your heart rate is not saying that's where you need to be. Don't go there. So I had to pull back a lot of times during runs, like because it got to the point where so I could be at a 10-minute mile, right, and that could be in my range, right?
Yeah.
I could be my zone 2 range, right? 140 to 150. I could be sitting there. But sometimes later in that run, I could be running at a 920, 915 pace and still be in that heart rate.
Yeah.
So you never know. It's really what your body's going through. Your body's going through a lot of different things at different times. And throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout, all that stuff. So dude, it all depends on what you eat. It all depends on the stresses that you're going through in life. Like all that stuff, it all plays a role in how your body's going to react that day and for everything. That's why I'm a very routine guy, because if I can control everything that I can control, I only have to deal with the little things that happen outside of me, and they don't fucking stress me out too much.
Amen to that one, I tell you.
You control what you can control. You stay in the routine, and then you already kind of know what you're to expect for like the training and the runs and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of pulling back like during long runs.
Yeah,
I feel good at mile 8. Like I said before, like mile 8 is that's when I feel like my best. Once I hit mile 8, I can go, but it doesn't matter. Pull back, stay off that.
I say that because too, even the few times I try that, it's like, man, I feel like I'm going so slow. For me, I'm a lot slower, so I feel like I'm going even slower. But if you're going by the heart rate, you gotta stay there. You gotta stay there, and that was big time. So it's just something to be aware of. Yeah, and it's like it is kind of shitty, right? Because like I sit there and and I'm like running, and I see other people running. They're running fast as fuck, and it's like, damn, dude. Like on training runs, like I'll see them on the path on the trail. They're running fast as hell. I'm like, damn, your ego's looking like, hey, I want to go. Let's go. We can go. No, but just sit back, stay back. There are times during those runs though that I will, get my heart rate elevated because there's hills or something like that. Yep. And there's just adjusting. Like, okay, we're not gonna run fast for a long time, but we'll get the heart rate elevated at some point just to, push tired legs or get up this hill real quick, push the legs a little bit harder, but nothing like for a long sustained period, just for a short burst or something like that. But yeah, so that's running slow. Running slow to run fast. Yeah, running slow to run faster. It's a real fucking thing. That was like the biggest thing I think for this race was because I was able to run the whole training. And you ate those hills. And I was able to eat hills. Like, it was the marathon method for real. 180 minus your age, get that heart rate, run at that heart rate for your long runs and stuff like that. Or for anything that's, like long for you. It's relative, right? For all of us. Right. Whatever's long for you, run at that heart rate. Don't worry about your pace. Don't worry about that stuff. That's because running anaerobically and running aerobically, they're very different. They're going to help you in different ways, especially if you're training for like marathons or half marathons and stuff like that. You got to train in a different way. But yeah, marathon 180 minus your age, get your heart rate to run. That's your target heart rate. That's your target heart rate. Get a heart rate monitor as well. Don't trust the watch. Yeah, the watches are like very like iffy. Like I use mine sometimes, like when
like for shorter runs, and I just kind of like guesstimate because
you can get them for like $60 to $80, a decent one. That's where I got mine.
I got mine for like 30, but just got on buying the expensive shit. But yeah. Third thing I did was I incorporated sprint sessions. So last year I did sprints for like the first, I think, like 4 weeks of the training prep. So remember, I'm doing the same training program, right? But this time, or last time, I didn't. I did like 4 weeks of sprints, and then I kind of like just stopped, and I just made them more like just another run. You know, this time I said nope. I gotta do sprints, and there are a bunch of half-mile sprints and stuff like that, and did that. And those were because those days suck. Like those are the days.
What are the importance of sprints?
It's just it's working anaerobically, right? Like, so those are the days where you're pushing your heart rate higher, and bringing it back down, pushing it higher. Also getting your feet moving quicker than they normally are.
Turning.
Yeah, get your legs turning way quicker than they normally are. Yeah, it's just working the body in a whole different way. So these are like the harder workouts. Like every other one run is like just miles, just put miles, keep the heart rate, stuff like keep the heart rate low kind of stuff. But the sprint sessions are the sessions that will work you. Like, those are the ones that
those are actual workouts.
Yeah, those are the ones that fucking you will feel, right? So I did those in a couple different ways. I would do half mile sprints, 800-meter sprints, right? So half mile sprints. I think probably like 4 or 5 of those, and because like I've only like have like an hour and a half in the morning, like, so like the longest I have. So I'll do 2 mile warm up, half mile, do like 4 or 5, or no, 4. I don't think I ever did 5 in a day, but like 4 half mile sprints with an in between. It's like a quarter mile jog or walk. And when I first started this year, when I was doing that, I was that's why I was like kind of defeated, kind of getting not defeated, but like bothered by it. Was I couldn't even fucking jog like after the sprint.
In between?
Yeah, in between I was walking. Like I was fucking struggling. But by like the, last half or whatever, second half of the training, I was jogging the quarter mile in between. So that's just when you start seeing little things like that, like I know it's small, but when you start seeing little things like that, you know that you're getting better, you know that you're growing, because fucking 3, 4, 5 weeks earlier, you couldn't even, there's no chance of
that. Was kind of a crazy thought too. Like, oh yeah, in between your sprints, on the Nike Run Club that I listen to, they talk about the same thing. Just slow your jog down. This is your rest period. Like, how am I resting? I'm still moving. What the hell?
It's supposed to be at a complete stop.
Yeah. I'm thinking I have to stop, but they're like, no, just a light, easy jog. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But the sprint work really helped a lot. I know that. I know it helped a lot. It helped me get, quicker and everything too, which is weird too, because like, I don't know. I kind of think I think it helped when it came to just having to run harder when I needed to, right?
Yeah.
So because remember, like last year I was running 20 miles at a 8:47 pace or something, and that didn't feel like I was dying, but at the same time, I don't know, like
you did get hurt.
Yeah, I definitely got hurt, so my body wasn't trying to deal with that. But yeah, the sprint sessions were something that I didn't do last year. Definitely did this year all the way through, and that's why I said like this year I did every run, every workout I was supposed to do, whether I had to adjust it to a different day, because of something going on, or we're out of town or something, or we had family coming up from out of state, like adjusted, but every run was done. All the sprints were done, all of it. It didn't matter if it rained, it didn't matter what it looked like. Everything happened. So all the work, and so I had no way of blaming, or I had no way of saying that it like, oh, it was an injury or because I didn't do this many miles or something like that, right? It's all the work was done.
To fall back on.
Exactly. Yeah. So this time it was like all the work was in. What do we do now? What do we do wrong this time? If we didn't make that right, make the goal, what do we do that we need to adjust? Could it be a race day issue? Could it be a fueling issue? Stuff like that. So we figured that out along the way. But oh man, this is like, so somebody even asked me this like right after the marathon, but I stopped running with carbon plated shoes for like all my long runs. So all my long runs I was running last year. All my long runs I ran with The Nike
The
Vaporflies. The Nike Vaporflies. And I didn't realize that you're not supposed to. And this is fucking, I'm admitting for real. Like, I was ignorant. Like, I didn't know. Like, I wasn't supposed to run with carbon plated shoes for every damn long run. I just wanted the paces. All I'm thinking about before was, you know, like, I'm thinking about running it easily, but the paces were still in my head. Like, because I'm so worried about the race and not being able to hold a pace. But show up in carbon plated shoes all the time, and you know, you got to understand like how these shoes, they give like your body feedback. They react to, there's a response from these shoes when you run in carbon plated shoes. So that shit definitely had my legs responding, like my calf muscles were responding, and they got injured. Like, so you know, it's always like the same kind of areas that were issues for me when I was getting hurt the past 2 years of running. So gave up the carbon plated shoes. I got me some nice, like, solid cushion dailies, and I ran with those. I hated them at first. I'm not even joking, just because coming from running so much in carbon plated shoes where it just seems fast, and you get these shoes where your legs actually have to really work to move. Like, that shit sucked at first. But then and those shoes were not comfortable at all when I first got them. But after I broke them in, oh man, I love those shoes now. Like,
which one was that? Which one?
The Asics. Those damn, I forgot what they're called.
Those blue ones that you had?
Yeah. I love those shoes now, and I want to get another pair just to keep those. Those are like my dailies. Like,
yeah. But
yeah, those.
It's like another good point too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning point, I guess.
Big time. Get you some good shoes. Don't get carbon plated shoes. Carbon plated shoes are.
Get your shoes appropriate to training.
Yes.
Because yeah, you have daily ones, trainers. Then you have fucking race day shoes, which is what you were using.
Yeah, carbon plated shoes should be like used for races and like speed, like sprint sessions. That's the only time I ever used it. Yeah. Like, I wasn't, and I almost fell back into it like a couple of times. Like, there's a couple of days I was like, I want to go, let's try this long run with, you know, the carbon plated shoes. But I was like, nah, man, you know, just, you know, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. Heart rate training is going well. Let's just stick to that, because next thing you know, I'm gonna start hitting these fucking paces on a long run, and then then I have another, you know, issue with recovery. So like, let's not go there. Let's just try and do what we set out to do. Stick to the plan. So yeah, no carbon plated shoes for long runs. It's unnecessary, like, especially if your heart rate training. So, and then I was stretching. Yeah, so what I didn't do last year, I didn't stretch at all. No stretching. Barely even warmed up most of the time. Just kind of went for it.
Did you feel looser?
Yeah.
With more stretching?
You know how I said, like, because my hips are terrible.
Tight.
Like, they're hella tight, and got these, you know, these tight hips. And there's a reason, you know, nobody gets through these hips. But no, I definitely added stretching, and you know, it's funny because I was stretching probably from like 3/4 of the way through the training and everything. Then I kind of like ventured and tapered off from stretching because I was going too late in the day, you know, with doing stuff, and I was like already like, damn, this stretching shit is gonna go into my, you know, sleep. So I'm like, I'm gonna go sleep instead. I need to sleep over stretching right now. And it wasn't like a big deal. It's not like I didn't feel like a big difference after not stretching, but I definitely felt the difference while I was stretching. Like, from when I wasn't to getting into it, and then getting more flexible, loosening up my hips a little bit more, you know, getting the calf muscles, and, you know, especially the hips, man. I don't know, my hip flexors and everything, all that. Yeah. That's where it's really like and when you're running, that is a fucking issue. That thing is like, I would run and my hip flexors would be sore as hell after runs, like before especially. But you definitely
I noticed
feel
that too, even before runs. Like, for me, I like to use that, what do you call that? The gun?
Massage gun, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking all over my hips and my legs, quads, and hams, and then you do your dynamic stretches, stuff like that. Yeah. If I don't do that, dude, and then I wake up the next day, shit. Yeah. I feel everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like definitely a thing. Hips, quads, you know, hamstrings, all that stuff. Because I also get like issues with my hamstrings sometimes. So that's just another thing that I'd make sure that, you know, stretch all that stuff out. And then like lower back, all that stuff.
Because that's like what the biggest part of the biggest muscles in your body is your legs. Yeah. And you're constantly breaking them down, tearing them up, and then they're just getting tighter and tighter.
Exactly. So like, just, you know, and nothing crazy. Like, my stretching routine was hella basic. Yeah. And it was
something.
Yeah, it was something. And it just, all it did, and what I was doing was basing it off of time, right? So how long could I hold this stretch? You know, or I went from like, okay, 30 seconds, 30 seconds to 45 seconds, you know, like 2-3 weeks later, then 45 seconds to a minute, you know, 2 weeks later. Just kept adjusting from that. That's how you know, it's something to measure off of that. I know I'm getting better, and I know I'm getting more flexible, and how and also how I'm feeling when I'm doing it. Because there were some stretches, bro, like I can't even fucking hold. I'm losing my breath, or the shit just really hurts. It's like tight as hell. And then, a month later, you see that, oh shit, I grabbing this, no problem.
You ever heard that thing where it's like a lot of times when you're trying to stretch past something, a lot of it is or part of it's also your mental.
Yeah.
Like your body is in protection mode. It's like no.
Yeah.
I never knew that, dude. I thought it was just the muscle was tight.
I think
but no, your nervous system is like, nope.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Don't go there. So
I think I learned that when we were doing yoga during 75 hard, bro. I learned
pull up a clip of that.
Yeah. I remember that's where I learned that stuff. It's like a lot of it's mental and breathing, bro. Like if you know how to breathe and control your breathing,
that's crazy.
It lets you get a lot deeper in the stretches.
I didn't tell us this, people tell us this off the bat.
That's because we were fat boys and we just.
But that was interesting.
We don't stretch.
That was an interesting fact.
But yeah, stretched. It's good for you. I don't know.
Stretching is good for you.
Yeah, I don't think it was like the
ultimate
huge like game changer or nothing like that. But I know it definitely helped. It definitely helped. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend it to people to be able to stay in the fight. Like it helps you keep going, and it helps you, when you're breaking up your muscles, like you were just saying, right? You break it up so much and all that, and you're not like, it's like you're not tending to it, like you're not taking care of it if you're not, like helping it recover, So yeah, that's just a way to help yourself recover.
Yeah.
So, and then to go furthermore, like from stretching, I really, really only stayed with weight training this time, and I didn't do it like how I did last year. This time weight training, I really only lifted 3 times a week. Like I didn't, because I ran 4 days a week. Last year I was doing 2-a-days and all this stuff, and I think it just played its role. It taxed my body too much, so I didn't do that this time. And because my goal was the marathon. Everything was focused on the marathon. So I wanted to make sure everything was intentional. Everything that I was doing was going towards my goal for the marathon. So weightlifting and all that wasn't it wasn't the main goal. So it was just, but it was a part of the it was part of training. Like it had to be part of it, to make sure that, you're keeping your body durable, you're keeping your body strong, to push that long, to, just have the, just muscle endurance to go that long. Right. And so I stayed with 3 days a week, and I literally almost did the same shit every day, every time I lifted. Like I did compound movements, I did deadlifts, I did bench press, I did squats,
pull-ups.
I do pull-ups and push-ups. Fucking that's, like basic shit. Like, that's the one thing. Like you don't have to do fucking a bunch of complicated stuff. And if you keep it simple, it makes everything easier, and you can get more done. Like instead of trying to do all these complicated things that you see all over Instagram and fucking YouTube and shit like that, you don't gotta do that, man. You don't need excessive shit. You don't need any extra nonsense to add to it. Just do the basics. The stuff is going to keep you strong. Like compound movements going to keep you strong.
I mean, unless you're trying to be a bodybuilder, all that helps.
And that's the thing that I'm getting at, right? Yeah. So I wasn't in bodybuilding mode. So that's not part of the goal, right? And that's what I was doing last year. I was in like lifting like I was bodybuilding. That's not what I was trying to do. So, it didn't really help my goal the way I wanted it to, right? So we stuck to the movements that were going to help me for the race. Compound movements were going to help me for the race. So stuck to those, did that. And then, but also this is something that I didn't even do last year before the race. So before the Tacoma Marathon last year, I wasn't back squatting at all. Like I was not back squatting at all. Yeah. And what was the thing that was killing me the most, like during that race? My fucking quads and my hamstrings, bro. They were taking the biggest hits during that race. Like
all the downhills.
And everything. There's so many downhills. There's a bunch of uphills. And I wasn't back squatting last year.
Yeah.
So that was a big goal of mine. Like after I was deadlifting, but I wasn't fucking back squatting.
Yeah.
And I wasn't back squatting for a very long time too. Like I just didn't feel comfortable with it. Like I said, my hips were bad, so I just wasn't doing it. But then I made it a thing after feeling what I went through at that marathon. Like I gotta start like hitting back squats. Like even if it's not crazy heavy, like I'm not a heavy back squatter. I'm not I'm not strong like that. Like, some people got that, and that's not me. Like I hit 225, I'm good. Like I don't need to go any more than that. That's not, my goals aren't like towards that right now. Yeah, like it's not for that right now. So I started hitting back squat and, progressed through the year, and you kept sticking with that.
That's I think that is like one of the first things you said to me that you felt made a difference this time.
Yeah.
All those fucking squats.
All the squats, like squatting and, and because bro, like, and just working like more of the leg stuff. Like because I was doing like a lot of step ups and stuff like that too. Just not, just thinking in your head, like, we're going to make sure that this doesn't fucking happen again. Yeah. Like you can't, like, I'm going to make my legs strong enough or stronger than those hills, were like taking its toll on me. Like
and a squat is like, that's a lot. That's a lot of muscles firing at the same time. Yeah. Yeah. Core.
Your nervous system's going. Hams, yeah.
Quads.
It's everything.
It's everything.
So it was just
called the posterior chain. I think they call it.
Hey, don't bring up crazy big words.
Sorry about that.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what some people might ask, what's the importance of it? Though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely that. It's definitely because like when they set up these races, right? There's gonna be hills. Something like that's gonna come. It's gonna come, and you just gotta. And I feel like that's where and you saw it during the race too. A lot of people cramping. It was quads and hamstrings, calves. That's what it is. And there's a lot of different things.
I feel like this time around, I felt I did see a lot more people dropping, like slowing down or stuff like that.
I think it's just because this time we weren't in the back. That's a different thing too. I think because we were a little further up. So
these are people pushing.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's why, I was that dude last year. Like, I remember that, right? Like, I was fucking hurting. And there was all those moments where I was walking up hills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Didn't do that this year, but I saw people doing it. I'm like, fuck, dude, that was me. That's why, as you go through that, and I know it's shitty because you're looking at other people and it's like they're going through a shitty moment, but you feel strong, right? And it's like, that was me last year, though. And it sucks. Yeah, you're looking at them like, damn, wish I could help you, but I know how that goes, and you'll be fine.
For them or whatever.
Yeah, you have empathy for sure, but it's like you'll be fine. You're actually like you're better off, like, especially because there's some, like, we can tell, like, it's the first one and stuff like that, right?
That's one thing I did notice too this time around. It's like, especially me going to completing my first half marathon. Mm-hmm. What I felt like that shit was hard for me.
Yeah,
and so going into this Tacoma City Marathon. Mm-hmm. And watching people's faces, I can see who's like fucking fired up, ready to go. They're killing it. They're crushing it. Mm-hmm. I can see other people who are either holding back, just reserved, just, it's a easy thing for them. Then I can see the people who are like, I'm like, it's getting heavy now. Yeah. They're slowly getting to that point where it's like, fuck, I'm really starting to feel this groove. So it was just something that I noticed as I was riding my bike past them. Just looking at people in their heads, I can see it. I can almost see what they're thinking, what phase they are. So that was interesting.
Like, they're almost there to, like,
they're like, dude, they're questioning themselves. Mm-hmm. Some of them were like, fuck, what am I doing here? Mm-hmm. Some of them were completely stopped and out of it. You know what I mean? So I'm not, talking smack on them, but it's just something that I observed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just going through something similar. It's like, fuck, I can see it now. I see you, bro.
Yeah. And it's that's the crazy.
And I think that's why you stopped to help that guy. You gave up your salt pills to that guy who was in. He was struggling. He was struggling. So that whole thing, like, there's a guy that was he was hitting. We came up this hill, and this is the same hill that I beat Mark in. So Mark was riding a bike, and he was supposed to. I was supposed to get him up the hill first, so I could pull the water out.
They could pull the water bottle out his bag, and I
was like, okay, bro, I'll meet you at the top.
Nah, he starts going. He's in front of me, and then by like a quarter way up the hill, I'm like right next to him, and I pass him up the hill.
I hopped off the bike, and I had to walk it.
Yeah, so like at that point, I take the turn, and I'm going down. There's a downhill after the turn, and the dude is like kind of just bent over. Like, I guess after he hit this hill, that was it, and I think his calves just said he's done. And this was only at like mile 19 something, like maybe 19. Yeah, 1920-ish, and he was like done. So he's like, I was like, "You good, bro?" And he's like, no. And that's where it's like, usually you hear the people like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But no, he's like,
no,
I'm not. And then he's like, what do I do? And that's the one where I was like,
I didn't know he said that.
Yeah, he's like, what do I do? I was like, here. So I just like grabbed my salt tablets and I tossed it to him because I didn't want to stop. Like I'm still on my shit. Yeah, like I can only take so much loss too, to reach that goal. That shit's hard for me. So I took my tablets out and I tossed it back to him. I said, just take some of these. And then I ran back. And on the way back, he was still walking. I was like, damn, they didn't help. He's like, just a little bit. But yeah.
That was funny. And I was coming up the hill.
It was already too late by then. But
yeah. I was already coming up the hill. And I'm watching that interaction. I can't hear what was going on. Mm-hmm. But then I saw you throw the bag. I was like, what is this guy doing? Those are the salt tablets.
Yeah.
And then, you went forward. And then I think you had asked me if I had anything salty. Mm. Just because you were maybe feeling you said your quads were on fire at one point.
Yeah.
So that right there, then I was like, I got to go get those salt tablets back from that guy. So
yeah,
that's exactly. I was like, bro, do you want me to go get those or what? Well, he's not using it. I was like, okay, I'll go check.
Yeah,
because I had some stuff in my bag, So then that's what I did. I offered him Gatorade, the salty tasting Gatorade.
Oh yeah,
like, he needs salt. This will probably help. So I went. I caught up to him, or I went back to him and asked him if he was going to use it. He said no. He had a couple already. Yeah. But even by then, he was still hurting. So I think at that point, you're right. It was just...
It's too late, yeah.
It's too late. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I got to get those back there, Yeah. AJ still still had down and back to come and then back up those hills. So that's when I went and bartered with him. I said, hey, bro, I got some water here. I got some Gatorade. He's like, all right, thanks, man. He was super grateful, though.
Yeah.
So I got him back. I secured the tablets.
Yeah, because we needed those, for sure. Like out, and the reason why, like me and Mark were talking about that because my quads were starting to like really take a hit. Yeah. And I knew I had to get ahead of it. I knew it was before mile 23. We need to get ahead of all this. Like you're thinking about, and you're kind of thinking like, while you're thinking in this moment, right? You're thinking in this moment to just keep, moving forward. You're also thinking 30 minutes ahead. Like, how can I get ahead of whatever's to come there? Like, because there's going to be pain. Like, the deeper you get into it, it's going to get pretty painful. Yeah. And by mile 20, in my quads, I could really start to feel it. Like my quads are starting to go. But then I get to those like hills where I know like this is going to be the real painful part. Let's get through this. And then it's like that one where you come up with all those people that are gathered in that one area. Mm-hmm. And then that hill, like that one I knew because that last year I walked that. And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to run up this one. But I was like, I'm running up that and after this, it's going to hurt. So like, I'm going to feel this after this. And then I got to come down another hill. So I'm going to feel this. Then it gets flat for a while, right? Yeah. So I'm thinking ahead and I'm trying to get ahead of this. So I'm thinking like, I feel my quads now, get something in your belly, get some electrolytes, get some water, get all that going so that after this, your body has something to take in to recover so that you're not feeling it, right after, or even just 30, 40 minutes after, where it's just like, oh, okay, your body's done now. Because there's nothing there's nothing to feed it after that work, after that effort, So I'm always thinking about that. But we're gonna get back to other things. Last two, and this just happened like during the race because I wasn't thinking about it. I'm just thinking it's another race. I'm just gonna run with my headphones on and go get after it.
You did have it on.
I had it on, yeah, for sure. Ready. And it was just an adjustment I made on the go, and it was crazy because I never did this during training or anything, but it just felt good. It felt right. But we were going, and I think we're at mile 4, and me and Powell were running together, and then something happened, and I guess I don't know if me and him were talking, and I couldn't hear, so I kind of stopped it, and then we just kept going. We're talking or chopping it up, whatever. Or I don't think we're chopping it up too much, but we just like made comments and stuff for talking about something. And then and then we hit like mile 5 and I realized like, oh shit, the music's not on. But I felt good. Like I felt, like I could hear everything around me. There's, the other stuff. Like I don't have crazy music bumping in my fucking ears and stuff. So
mental clarity.
Yeah. And that's really what it was, that mental clarity. So I just left them off and I said, I'm going to run this whole damn thing like this. Like, and because what your body would naturally do too is when you have music playing, especially your body's gonna start to try and follow that beat and that the rhythm of that song, the cadence of that damn song. So a lot of times that does happen, and I noticed that happened last year too. Right, I'm listening to like really like upbeat like rap songs and hip hop songs and stuff like that, and my body starts like going. And you know, when that's a song that I like too, and I'm like, oh, let's go, and then fucking my body's just like fucking, we'll go real hard. We forget, like, dude, we got 13 miles left, dog. You better relax, you know. But this time music was off. I was in full control after that, bro. Like once that music was off, and I was just, especially once I got by myself, and it was just like everything, especially from like after the half marathon, and you know, from that time, you know how I am. I already know like we're gonna fucking something's gonna hit us hard at some point. Some adversity is gonna come. Like, what are we gonna do? And at that time, at that moment, is I need full, you know, mental clarity. I need full control of what I'm gonna do about it, and how I'm gonna react or respond to that whole thing.
Yeah.
So that was like every time something was going on with me, right? Like I felt like a little tweak or a cramp or tug on my damn leg or some shit like that, and talk myself right through it.
You're able to listen to it, or
hear,
and
then respond. Instead of thinking about music, thinking about, you know, my body, thinking about stuff going on around me. And I swear to you, bro, you know how many times I was sitting there like, come on, bitch, let's go. Like I'm talking to myself, like, come on, let's go fucking finish this. Like you put yourself through this, just keep fucking going. You did the work, just keep fucking going. Like there's all this shit that I was telling myself, bro. Like, and like telling myself, you can push fucking harder. Come on, you can push fucking harder. And those are the times where I'm saying like the hills come. It's like, yeah, I can take it easy. Do we need to take it that easy? Like, no, we can push a little bit harder. Like shit like that, bro. I was talking to myself a lot. And if I had music on, I would be talking and probably not, you know, registering what the fuck I'm saying.
There's a lot going on.
I'm not taking it in the way I was taking it in during that time. So it's like me talking through everything. I was able to hear myself. I was able to, as soon as a doubt came in my damn mind, I was able to crush that shit immediately. Like you're not staying here. Like I'm kicking you out. Like that's just how that shit was going, and that's because there's nothing else going on in my head. So what I was going through in the moment, trying to like foresee the next, you know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes of what was about to happen and what could happen and how we're gonna stay away from that kind of the pain or the whatever that we know could possibly come. What can we do to, you know, affect, you know, a positive outcome down the road, you know? So I didn't listen to music. This shit was cool. I mean, it was, and I even told Mark too, during the run, I wasn't going to be talking to no camera.
That before the run,
yeah. Before the run, I told him, I was like, I'm not talking to the camera. I'm not doing no wasted energy. Like, we're not doing any of that. Even though I did a little bit, but nothing crazy like going off on a spiel. Like this time it was, I'm going to fucking run, bro. Like I came here to run today. So we're going to do that. So, yeah. And then the last thing I did that I made sure I did this time that was big fucking deal that I didn't do last year because I was injured and I was trying to be
fucking He-Man,
a skinny bitch or some shit. And I still didn't even hit my weight goal, but I didn't fuel, bro. Like I didn't fuel. I ate bagels and shit like the day before. And like that was it. I didn't even drink. I wasn't even drinking like a gallon of water completely, like 2-3 days beforehand. This time, got ahead of it, and I think it was Friday night. So Friday night, I ate pizza. Like I ate fucking pizza. I shout out Rich's Pizza. I ate a shitload of pizza. My wife already knew too. She's like, "All right, we're getting pizza, right? Friday night. We already talked about all this. We're getting pizza." Slam pizza, so that's carbs. I'm getting fat, so I'm getting all that protein, cheese, all that stuff's coming inside, getting locked up in my body, getting stored up inside for Sunday. So did that, and did my normal meals that day. But I made sure too throughout the week is just water.
Hydrate.
Hydrating. But then I'm putting in all these good foods. Pizza's not good food, but it's good food for the race. And the last 2 nights, like Friday night, Saturday night, before I go to sleep, I'm I drink some electrolytes. Make sure I get that in so that also stores. Then Saturday was a big ass bowl for, at least in the morning, I had like I think it was 2 like, what's that, English muffins, some protein, got a bunch of eggs, got, you know, just getting all that in the body. Had a protein shake, electrolytes again in the morning, and then that night was Chipotle, big ass bowl of Chipotle, double rice, double meat, guac, all that. It was all in there. That's all to load the body up, carb load, get everything, all the stores up, and then electrolytes out the night before again. Just continuously loading up, getting the stores up so that when your body is struggling, it has something to dig into, grab what the energy that it needs, the fuel that it needs to fucking keep going.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So last time I did not do it. I think when that whole Saturday.
You didn't eat a fat burger the night before, though.
That was the first marathon, bro.
Oh, that
wasn't.
the first
Yeah,
one.
that wasn't
right,
last year. Last year I did not do that. I remember exactly where I was, and I didn't eat anything that day. I remember because after you did your 5K, I went somewhere else. I went to a family member's house, and I wasn't eating anything. Like I wasn't even drinking water barely that day. So I killed myself. Really, like I wasn't paying attention. That's why this time around it was all the days leading into it, I was very intentional about everything I did.
Stocked up those stores.
Yeah. So like, look, I understand like those are the big things that I did that changed. And I hope some of those things help you guys if you plan on getting running. And like I said, I understand like running is not for everybody.
Yeah.
But
if you're looking into it, I think a lot of what you just said right now is just it's gold. It's things that you learned along the journey that you had no clue before.
I had no idea.
And that's why I think a lot of people steer with, fuck that, I don't want to run. They run 2, 3, 4 miles at the most, and it hurts.
Yeah, because you're running so hard, stuff like that, and you just hate it.
But if it's something you wanted to get into, a lot of what he was saying was, man, that's all stuff that we probably should have done beforehand. That way, you can be a little more successful at it.
But it helps that we experience it, right? Because like we watch a lot of people that we even know too. That I look around and we watch a lot of the same people on YouTube and stuff like that I learned from, right?
Yeah.
But you can be listening to all that stuff. There's a thing about watching and educating yourself by watching stuff. But until you go through that shit yourself, it's very hard to like really want to change or make the changes or understand why you're making those adjustments or those changes, right? Yeah. So a lot of those adjustments or those things that I did is just because of what I went through, and I had to learn it. If I want to
connect the dots,
like how, and then as the journey goes on, you learn how your body works, how your body's adjusting, how your body takes in and responds to different foods and different training sessions and like all that stuff. Like it's not. And it's always the goal to show up every day. And if you can continuously just show up every day and keep putting in work that's intentional to get to your goal. And this is why I like running. It's because all this shit that I learned is so applicable to life. Like a marathon, just the distance of a marathon, the ups and downs that you go through in just one race is just fucking insane. And it's just like how life is. Like, and you learn how to deal with your fucking emotions, put away all doubt. It's just stuff like that. You just deal with those issues. Crush them, keep moving forward. Like you don't have a choice when pain comes, when adversity comes, you don't have a choice. You have to keep moving forward. You can't stop in place. Like that's not how it's going to work. You have to keep moving forward. And that's why I like running, because with how basic running is and all you have to do is put one foot in front of the other, many people will not do it. And that is why it's so like, it's really a driving force for me, because people can talk about it's like fucking, I can lift heavy weights and I can do this, but you fucking can't move your feet. Like, for a long ass time like this, it's the most basic thing that you can do, but most people won't do it. But it's just, I just fucking, I enjoyed what happened this time, like after what we did. And even though it was successful, right? We got the sub 4 hour time, still learned a shitload, man. I still learned a shitload through this race. Like you got to understand too, like during the 35-mile run, I was telling Mark this like right after, like that. During the 35-mile run on my birthday, I learned so much about what my body needed at different times. Yep. Like during that run, during the marathon, what I would have went back to was thinking when my quads were going crazy and stuff like that. After I take a GU gel, after I take some electrolytes, I'm thinking, I need more electrolytes. I need more Powerade. I need more of that. Man, I flushed my body. Marcus had water on it. I was flushing my body with water. My quads started feeling great. But you also have to understand how long that shit's going to take, because that's the mental like preparation, right? I'm saying like you drinking water, that's not going to hit you immediately. Like you're going to feel that in like 15, 20, 30 minutes down the road. So you got to get ahead of that stuff. So it's just like everything else. You mentally prepare, you physically prepare. Like anything that you're going to do, like any endeavor that you're going to take, you're going to go through a bunch of different stuff. But if the more work you put into it, the better prepared you are for when those times come. Because adversity is going to come at some point. Nothing worth doing is going to be easy. So when those times come, when those hard times come, are you mentally prepared to keep pushing forward? Or are you going to quit once the shit gets hard? And I like doing it, especially running. because it sucks, dude. Like it's shitty for a long time, and it's like running a business is very hard. It's shitty for a long time. There's a lot of things you don't want to do that you have to do, but this is why I continue to like want to push, because if I can push, doing that stuff and doing all that hard shit, then the business can continue to grow. The brand can continue to grow and impact other people, impact more people. Hey, I'm not even joking. I fucking love it when I'm seeing all these people running, bro. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I love seeing all these people that follow and they're running or they're just lifting. Anything that you're doing to get better, like, that shit is fucking great to me, because not just that we're making impact, but that you yourself are doing better. Like, that it's going to be better for you. I know it may not seem like right now it's great, right? Your first couple of days or anything like that, you might feel a little bit better. It might be really painful, but down the road, man, look at down the road. Look at a year from now. Look at 5 years from now, what you can fucking turn into. You never know when you stack those fucking days. You never know when you stack those wins, instead of just continuously stacking losses, because if you're not getting better, if you're not growing, you're dying. So
if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah. But it was a great race, man. It was a good day. And congratulations to everybody that ran that day. My brother Powell ran his first marathon, like sanctioned marathon, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
His first like sanctioned marathon, because he already did like a 32 miler. But
and the Spartan wasn't a constant run, although it had a lot of shit in between.
The Spartan race was kind of shitty, but and did that. It was a good ass day. Wife and Powell's wife came out. Yeah. You came out. Of course, thank you again, bro, for coming out and knocking that shit out again.
Yes, it's good weather. You think the weather was good for it?
I think the weather was perfect for it.
It just started raining at the end.
Yeah. And that's not even a bad thing. Rain feels good when you're already in it.
Somebody asked me that. I think it was my boss. He asked me that. How do you handle rain and cold weather? I was like, actually, it probably helps out a little bit more. It keeps you cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm okay with running in the rain, especially when you're already like deep. When you're 20 miles in the rain, you don't fucking, you actually want that shit. But it was fucking good. It was, and we got footage of it. I don't know if the video is gonna drop before this podcast or after, but the redemption run will.
We're gonna put that out. I do want to record with you. Probably after this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The redemption run video is gonna come out sometime soon. So it'll be pretty cool. You get to see like the differences of last year and this year, and all we're trying to do here is inspire, man, and motivate and show our people that we can do a little bit more, because these are all things that I never thought I could do. So we're just showing the journey, man, of where we started. You go back and you see videos of us before, and what we were doing is very different than what we do now. So, it's just showing that, man. It's just that's really what it is, because we want everybody to be able to experience growth in their lives, and experience, what do you call it? Like, just experience abundance, like, and experience like an abundance of love, an abundance of happiness, abundance of just pursuit of growth and all those things that they really want in their life, that they're trying to stay away from because of they're afraid of
norms,
social norms, of judgment of others, stuff like that. So
that's very tough. That's a very tough.
It is tough, but if you just say fuck it and you just fucking do it, then it's fucking easy. Then that's the thing that I kind of talk about with the boys now. It's like it's so. For us, it's easy now. Like when I talk to the boys, right?
That's what I was gonna say. You can say fuck it, easy or whatever, but that's a constant battle along the path, right?
For sure.
It's like, I don't care.
It takes time.
But then it's gonna come. It's gonna creep back in at you all the time.
Yeah.
But you have to keep choosing to.
Yeah, but it's not a thing where it's like fuck it, like fuck it, like I don't care what you think, so I'm gonna be a fucking shitbag. It's not that, right? It's still you're still doing the right things and being you're trying to be a good human being. But I'm saying fuck it, like you're doing things that are better, like best for you, and like at least this is the way I would say we think about it, is you're trying to do the things that are best for you and best for the people around you, that things that aren't seen as the best for you or the best for the people around you. So you're just going outside of what everybody else thinks is good, which is not really fucking good for us, and saying fuck that, and so that's it. But if you fucking still don't think it, then I don't fucking care either, you know?
Yeah.
We're at that stage. But yeah, now we're on to Ironman training.
Better things.
Ironman training starts this week. This week after the marathon, it was all about lifting and shit like that. Just stay in the movement, you know, keep and get the body ready, because we're about to start biking, swimming, and we're still gonna be running, but now it's biking, swimming, lifting, and running. So
it's a different beast, man.
Yeah, this one's gonna be different. Got a lot of training to do. I'm looking forward to that because I know this one's gonna be hard, but you know, you can always figure shit out. Like, I've never swam a mile in my life, bro. And maybe I can't even remember the last time I've actually swam, like legit swam. Like, I can't remember the last time.
Standing in a pool don't count.
Yeah, exactly.
Or on the beach.
Yeah, the beach, yeah. So I'm just saying, I can't remember the last time I did it, but we're about to start training for this shit. So I'm excited for the...
There's a lot of going into it, too.
Yeah. A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of
equipment.
A lot of equipment. I mean, there's a lot of training going to happen. So you got to learn, got to go, got to grow. So that's happening.
I like that.
Yeah, that shit's happening. So I'm excited for that. That's going down in September. Then we're just a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do when it comes to that.
That's gonna be that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just watching though.
Well, you're gonna bring you say you're gonna bring your kayak and you're gonna jump in the water?
Yeah, in the river, the Columbia River. I'll be right beside you with the camera, just paddling.
Yeah,
he's just like, please don't do that. Please don't.
Yeah, we're gonna document a lot of that stuff. Like,
I was looking at the course map too. I'm like, oh man, how are we gonna do this? But luckily, it's kind of in the same area. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's all pretty close. Other than the bike stuff, but the bike stuff you might have to just hit with a drone or something.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. But
that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, you know, and we're just gonna go ahead and chop it up here. But man, I hope that any of this stuff help you, man. Like we're always trying to share this stuff to, you know, just share the experience and the stuff that we're learning along the journey. We just talked about a marathon. Like, this was a race, like, but you know, there's so much that you take from it. You know, just learning to control your emotions and just being able to prepare and get better from lessons that you learn. And this is really, a lot of it is kind of like the help people like that want to go on some kind of journey, right? And just to not fast track you, but kind of tell you about the stuff that we go through or that we've gone through, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. And
something to be and things to be aware of. Yeah,
and then just so you actually have it have it in your mind. So like, if it does happen to you, you know how you can have kind of a way to adjust. You know, and I've always told Mark, especially and I've told a lot of people about this. It's like I really just kind of put myself out there to do those things so that I can learn from the struggle and learn from the pain, and then be able to share it so that it can help other people. And that's when I say that we want to help people, that's literally what I'm trying to do through doing those kind of things. And it might not be racing, it might not be running or whatever it is, you know, like that we're doing. It might not be that, but it could be some other thing in life that, you know, you're battling, but our lessons from just doing these things could help, right? And that's why we just share it. And yeah, you know, it's just part of what we do and what we want to keep doing for you guys. So we hope that this episode helped out some way, somehow. I do have a lot of plans for, at least fitness wise, for the summer, even though I'll be in full on like Ironman training. But I want it to be like a group thing, and I want more people to be able to come out and do stuff. So we'll be announcing stuff like that soon. I think June, July-ish, something like that. But I'm looking forward to trying to put that stuff together. But we hope this one helped you guys.
Yeah.
Got anything else?
Great episode. I'm good.
Good? Okay. I think
it's crazy because you answered almost all the questions I had prepared without showing you.
Yeah. See?
In that one session.
Because we know the information that we want to get out to the people. Yeah. But we're kind of on that. We're on the line together on that one. But yeah, appreciate you guys for joining us on another one, man. That was episode 36. Thank goodness. Woo. It's been a minute. Hey, you know the deal. Go out, be your best, and always do that shit outside. Let's go. It's time we unite, yeah. Put our differences aside, yeah. And fight for our lives, yeah. I said the haters in the mall way before the sunrise.